Hello and welcome. This is our fourth Monday Nitro video. We are emanating from Florence, South Carolina this evening. WCW Monday Nitro, September 25th, 1995, taking place at the Florence Civic Center in front of a crowd of 5,000 people. It would score a 2.7 in the ratings compared to Monday Night Raw's 1.9. We have four big matches this evening. It's an action-packed show. We start out hot, but I don't want to talk about it. Let me show you. Let's get into it. As I said in the opening, Nitro comes to you live on TNT from the Florence Civic Center in Florence, South Carolina, with a crowd of 5,000 in attendance, and the event would draw a 2.7 in the ratings compared to Raw, which had a 1.9. And here we go. We start off introducing our commentary team. Steve Mongo McMichael with Pepe, who is sporting a nifty little saddle. Bobby the Brain Heenan, who's a constant source of entertainment via harassment for Mongo, denies wanting to ride Pepe, who he describes as a 4-pound tarantula. Eric Bischoff regains control and runs through what's in store this evening, says we're scheduled to hear from Hulk Hogan after the opening match regarding the events at the end of War Games match, the state of his neck injury that he suffered at the hands of the Giant. But let's get to the ring for our opening contest, shall we? Alex Wright makes his way to the ring first to a nice welcome from the crowd. He executes his top rope backflip once he hits the ring, and we cut back to the ramp for the entrance of Disco Inferno, who the crowd absolutely hates. The match starts off with Disco attacking Wright, taking control with some quick offense, then pitching Wright out of the ring to the floor, and he stays in the ring to have a one-man dance party while referee Nick Patrick administers the count to Das Wunderkind. On his way back in, Wright throws a shoulder to the midsection of Disco, quickly gets to the top while Disco's back is turned, then hits him with an impressive missile drop kick and face plants Disco. Wright throws Disco out of the ring, returning the favor from the beginning of the match, but stays on the offensive instead of having a dance party, and proceeds to hit a high cross body splash over the top rope to the outside, flattening Disco in the process. Wright takes Disco back inside. An Irish whip attempt goes awry. Disco ends up hitting an improv belly-to-neck drop over the top rope on Wright that I don't think was planned. Like I said, it was kind of an impromptu cover-up for a mistake they made during that sequence. Disco maintains the advantage until Wright cuts him off out of desperation, hits a drop kick while Disco attempted to go to the high rent district. Disco bumps down to the mat. Nick Patrick counts as worth the double down. Wright regains the advantage, briefly gets cut off by Disco, who lines up a running, swinging neck breaker. Wright counters into a backslide pin. Referee Nick Patrick counts 1, 2, 3. Here's your winner, Alex Wright. Wright never ceases to impress me with his athleticism, and Disco is no slouch in this match either from a technical standpoint. Overall, it was an enjoyable first match and a great way to start off this episode of Nitro on a high note. This is a theme you're going to hear a lot from me when it comes to the Disco Inferno and Alex Wright. They're underutilized. Now, I'm not saying these two were ever main eventers. Alex Wright has the talent to be a main eventer, had the talent to be a main eventer. Disco could have lived in that lower to mid-card spot with like a TV title, which he did get a few times, but should have gotten more than he did in the way of a push, because very entertaining, and the crowd always reacted to him. Sometimes they pop for him, sometimes they boot him, but Wright and him had such a good in-ring dynamic, and I think at one point they actually tag teamed later on in the later years of WCW. Yeah, these two, when they got into the ring, you knew they could always put on a good, entertaining opening to lower card match, just because their styles just synced up so well. So yeah, this first match was enjoyable to watch. But let's move forward with the card. It's time to hear from Hulk Hogan. So we go to the locker room and join Jimmy Hart assisting the Immortal One in rehabbing his neck. Hulk then cuts a Hulk Hogan promo.
Well, you know, Jimmy Hart, they thought we were dead, brother, but we're not even down and out, brother.
He says he hasn't missed a workout and wants to just tear this neck brace off right now. But this is the infamous promo where Hulk laid down the gauntlet for one of the most anticlimactic angles in WCW history, and would of course take place about a month from now into the future on the roof of Cobo Hall in Detroit, Michigan. Yep, machine versus machine, brother. Hogan says he's going to build an even bigger, badder monster truck, and if the big stinky giant brother has the guts,
They could hook 'em up bumper to bumper, and I'll drag Giant all over the parking lot and all around the arena, brother, just to get even, brother. Then if you survive that challenge, brother, I'll put the WCW Heavyweight Championship on the line."
And then he says, "And I'll hoist you over my head and slam you through the mat, brother, and lay you to rest right next to your father, brother, where I beat him, brother." And then that one dark cloud that's hanging over the head of Hulkamania's immortality will be gone, brother. So there it is. Hogan has laid down the challenge for machine versus machine, man versus man, in Detroit, Michigan on October 29th, 1995, Halloween Havoc at Joe Louis Arena. Now down to the ring where we meet Tutti Frutti Mean Woo Gene Okerlund as he interviews Randy Savage, who calls out Lex Luger. Remember, these two had issues last week on Nitro. Savage smacked Luger in the face, challenged him. Luger runs out to a mixed reaction, challenging Savage to a match next week, willing to give up his title shot against Hulk Hogan that is owed to him from War Games. Luger sweetens the pot further by saying if he does not beat Savage, he will leave WCW, and Savage accepts. We get a quick preview for WCW Halloween Havoc live on pay-per-view October 29th at 7 p.m. Machine versus machine, man versus man, Hulk Hogan, the Giant will be coming up. We'll be reviewing that pay-per-view just like we did Fall Brawl. It's set to be a good one. All set here for our next one-on-one contest on WCW Monday Nitro Live. Here comes Kurosawa down to the ring, accompanied by Colonel Robert Parker, which is an odd pairing to say the least with these two. But Kurosawa will be meeting his opponent, Craig, the Pitbull Pittman, U.S. Marine, and he was a heel, but he did come down to the ring to a nice pop because of him being, of course, the American and Kurosawa being Japanese. These two had at least one shoot match in the WCW Power Plant, according to legend, with Kurosawa being unable to take Pittman off his feet. And the Battle of Armbars has some exciting moments, with Kurosawa taking off mats at ringside and slamming Pittman on the floor. Pittman screws up by backdropping Kurosawa over the top rope, which should be a disqualification, but referee Nick Patrick lets the match continue. Kurosawa gets to the ropes to escape a code red, but Pittman uses a gut-wrench suplex to avoid a Fujiwara armbar. A German suplex battle ends the bout, with Kurosawa going behind Pittman and hitting the move to stay undefeated in singles competition. Like the opener, this was two guys putting everything they had into such a compressed match time, and it was really entertaining to see. Back to the ring in this capacity crowd in Florence, South Carolina, the Florence Civic Center, with the hardest working man in wrestling, Mean Gene Okerlund. He's standing by with Flying Brian Pillman and the enforcer Arn Anderson. Pillman talks up AA Arn Anderson's abilities, while Anderson mocks Ric Flair's inability to find a teammate. Anderson says that Flair reaped what he sowed since he turned on everyone in the promotion, and no one is going to be dumb enough to work with the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, now in their match. WCW Saturday Night Promo time, ladies and gentlemen. 6:05 Eastern on TBS, the Superstation. This weekend, in action, you will see the American Dream. Dusty Rhodes will be there in his first night as co-host. Johnny B. Bad gets his U.S. heavyweight title shot against Sting by virtue of beating Flying Brian at Fall Brawl. The American Males, your new WCW Tag Champs, will be on hand. The Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan will be there with the Giant, responding to Hulk Hogan's comments this Saturday, 6:05 Eastern on the Superstation, TBS. We go back to a quick recap of the events that transpired on the set of Baywatch when Kevin Sullivan assaulted Macho Man Randy Savage and ultimately led up to this match post-War Games. The Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan, of course, making his way to the ring first, the heel intro. He is very determined looking going into this match with Macho Man Randy Savage. Bad intentions on his mind, and you know the Dungeon of Doom will not be far behind him. And the babyface Macho Man Randy Savage comes out to a huge ovation from the crowd. He's on the ramp, his pyro's hit, and he always had a very cool pyro display in WCW. But he makes his way to the ring, looks unworried about the Dungeon of Doom. Of course, as I said, they wouldn't be far behind. Zodiac is at ringside with Kevin Sullivan, which of course spells interference in this match. As we know, WCW famous for their interference, and Zodiac was always one to be in on that with the Dungeon of Doom matches. I feel like I'm going to be shortchanging this match, but it's a very short match, so there's really not a lot to work with. So Sullivan and the Zodiac basically take turns beating up on Savage until Savage gives Sullivan a backdrop on the floor. Savage hits the flying axe handle, and the Zodiac fails to make a heel miscommunication sequence on the apron look convincing between he and Sullivan. But never mind that, as Savage throws him into the ring, and when the referee tries to separate them, Savage tosses the referee aside to get disqualified. This match was a mess. As Savage stacked up the bodies of Sullivan and Zodiac to hit a big elbow, Sullivan moves, Zodiac catches the elbow, Giant comes down to the ring. As I said, the Giant's making his way to the ring. The Taskmaster has won by disqualification. Macho Man is still beating on him in the ring. Unbeknownst to him, the Giant comes up from behind him, grabs him up. Ladies and gentlemen, it is mathematical at this point. Giant grips Macho Man by the throat, spins him around. You know what time it is. Up goes Savage, and down goes Savage with a big choke slam. Frankie Lancaster runs in as Giant is still going after Macho Man. He delivers a few punches, which really don't do anything. Frankie Lancaster goes up. Frankie Lancaster goes down with another monster choke slam. And in runs Mark Starr, Frankie Lancaster's tag team partner. He throws some shots at Giant, which are akin to BBs at King Kong. Mark Starr goes up. Mark Starr goes down with a choke slam. Alex Wright's on the top turnbuckle. He's going to go aerial assault on the Giant. Giant catches him in midair, hits him with a belly-to-belly slam. Now Lex Luger gingerly makes his way down the ramp. Little bit of a brisk pace here. Sullivan's kind of laughing like he knows something's up. It's alluded to that Luger would be on their side. Giant on the way down choke slams Savage again. Luger standing over a prone Macho Man. Thinks he's got the advantage. Giant, though, takes advantage of Luger's blind side. He turns his back, hits Giant. Giant clubbing forearm blow to Luger's back, dropping him down. Ladies and gentlemen, up goes Luger, down goes Luger. Giant and Sullivan exit, and Luger's laid out heading into the main event where he's supposed to face Ming. On commentary, Eric Bischoff tells the fans that Hulk Hogan will be on Nitro next week after seeing the Giant take out 5 men in the last segment. Luger is still in the ring, selling down the beating as Ming runs down to the ring to get this main event started, and having no face paint that he wore after joining the Dungeon of Doom, and kind of the same with the mask, Ming works a lot of rest holds before some errant blind charges. That is not fatal, though, as the referee pulls Luger away from Ming in the corner, and Ming finally uses the Golden Spike WCW hyped endlessly before Fall Brawl to go over in this match. Luger was trying to show WCW that he was a team player by doing some of these jobs early in his run, but he was still heavily protected as it took a Giant beatdown and a foreign object to put him down for the 3 count and secure the win for Ming. Mongo says there's something going on and it stinks worse than the present Pepe left Bobby the Brain Heenan on his dressing room door. Heenan says there's something going on with Luger, with Savage, with the Giant, and then Eric Bischoff interjects and says nobody knows what's going on in the mind of these guys right now. We've got Hogan, we've got Giant, we've got Savage and Luger next week on Nitro. It's going to be a great show. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this week. Let me give you the Saturday night results, though, before we close it out. So not a bad Nitro overall. A lot more setup moving into Halloween Havoc. We get the Savage and Luger feud moving forward, which will be based on them going onto a match at Halloween Havoc. But that's all ahead in the next few weeks leading up to the pay-per-view. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed. Do all the YouTube things. I'm Itepo Queen of the Place to Be Reviews. I've been here on September 25th, 1995 with all of yous. If I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and I'll catch you on the next one. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot to tell you. Do you want to send us stuff? Because this is how you send us stuff. We have a P.O. Box now. That's right. P.O. Box 924, Prudenville, Michigan 48657. If you have anything you'd like to send in to the Place to Be Reviews, that's where it goes, and that's where your packages will be coming from as well when I ship things out to you, my Kazooians.
I could do this all